Introducing first into the red corner, Paul Gannon.
Paul the Cannon Gannon from Gannon's MMA. If your name's on the billboard, you got to bring it here today, ladies and gentlemen. So, and starting off our lucky 13 bout of the night, we see Paul Gannon coming in for the red corner in this 61-kilo bantamweight A-class fight.
So Paul and his son Lewis are both fighting on this card, a father-son team both fighting on the same card, and it's a local club. It's a Leicester martial arts club, just a few minutes away from where we are here at Club Republic. And Paul looking super focused there, and he's got his dad in his corner, and that's got to give you some confidence in this father-son team. These guys always really bring the fight. They have a lot of energy. They really put a lot into it, and there's been some online voting on this one, and it's not in Paul Gannon's favour, I'm afraid. It's 89% think Spencer Wilkins, the opponent, is going to win, but I think maybe they're underestimating Paul Gannon, and he's had quite a lot of fights for Battle Arena. He's probably one of the most prolific contestants, so be good to see what he can bring.
And his opponent into the blue corner, Stefano Catacoli.
Rarely, eh? That's alright. Maybe it's time to go pro, Chris. He's gonna have to be a big fish in a bigger pond, man. I hope so.
Vegas, that's the goal.
This is an A-class rule, fought at a catch weight of 63 kilograms.
63 kilos, so one fighter not able to make weight.
Fighter in the red corner, weighing in at 63 kilograms, fighting out of Gannon's MMA, Lewis Gannon.
Gannon's MMA. A lot of the time you think of Leicester, you think of Leicester street fighters, but Gannon's MMA always representing.
In the blue corner, weighing 61.5 kilograms. Fighting out of Lions Pride MMA, Stefano Catacoli.
Now Lions Pride is a hell of a gym. That's the gym in London. I think it's North London. Where
Jimmy Manuel making a big splash in the UFC right now.
Lions Pride.
Lions Pride? Sorry? Lions Pride.
Yeah.
Pardon me. Lions Pride. Yep, that's the one.
Ooh. Both fighters keeping on their feet. Ooh.
Good jab start there to the single leg teep and switching it to a double for Paul Gannon. That's excellent.
It doesn't surprise me that Paul Gannon wants this fight on the floor. He's got a guy from a striker's gym, so Paul probably paying to his strength here. Looking for some ground and pound.
Yeah, looking to get position there and get comfortable in the topside guard as Paul Gannon. Where Stefano is getting a bit active with those hips. He's trying to tie up the legs in a grapevine there, even on the bottom. Shows a bit of class.
Paul Gannon passing really well, just stepping over. Really good, smooth transition. And he's already looking for that mount. Didn't quite get it. He got blocked, so he's sticking with his side control. Trying to get a little bit of ground and pound going. Control the position.
Yeah, where side control is great.
He's got that grip on that lock.
Yep, excellent for those submission attempts. It's very hard to land some good ground and pound from side control, unless, of course, you're allowed elbows in the pro divisions.
I think he's got that figure four already linked together now.
We see Stefano with his arm over top of the body there, and he's able to get out.
Stefano did a great job realizing the danger he was in and defending it, but now he's giving up that mount position.
Yeah, and you saw Stefano trying to land some sort of half-hearted shot there from being in bottom side control, and that just shows to me that his energy's a bit all over the place. He doesn't have necessarily a set plan, or maybe that plan's just gone out the window now with Paul Gannon on top of him, looking to land some serious ground and pound here.
Paul landing some big shots. Wow, he's getting quite a lot of power in that. Considering he's not really getting his hits behind it, they're arm punches, but really landing on his opponent there, and he's really controlling the position. Wow, that's actually, he's got a nice grapevine there. He's grapevining with both legs, making sure he controls that mount position. Now, grapevine's going to mean that he can keep that mount, but it will stop him posturing up. So he's given up on it now so that he can try and posture and get a little bit more power. But as his opponent tried to escape, he went back to those grapevines. Really high-level grappling here from Paul Gannon, and he's looking for that submission again.
Yeah, as you say, Chris, he's weathering that storm earlier on. He's taking those positions, he's crushing them down. Now he's able to posture up after having those grapevines in. And if he can land a few clean shots, this could change the entire geography of this fight.
Stefano's really struggling to deal with those grapevines. He needs to kick his legs straight, see if he can clear them. But they are very hard to deal with when you've got someone that's as proficient with those grapevines as Paul Gannon is.
Yeah, and that grapevine allows Paul Gannon to kind of force his hips into the lower abdomen of Stefano, cutting off a little bit of his wind, not allowing him to get those deep breaths in, which he's going to need to compose himself here when he's in such a dangerous position as being in mount.
Really landing some big shots. He's got to watch that he doesn't hit the back of the head there, but he's doing really well. And he's switching from arm to arm every time Stefano locks off an arm so he can't get the ground and pound. Hits with the other, and Stefano hitting from the bottom of the mount. It's not a smart thing to do. It's wasting a lot of energy. And big round for Paul Gannon. Very dominant grappling.
Yeah, he got on top and there was just no getting him off there. And Stefano gets up, shakes it off. And he's looking like he needs a little bit of advice from his corner and hopefully get him back into this fight. Give him some key techniques that he has been practicing in the gym that he can use to avoid that onslaught from Paul Gannon. But as you said, Chris, Paul Gannon, a very seasoned fighter. His dad there in his corner, extra confidence there. Guys that have come up and trained together. He's just lived in a culture of training, a culture of being a martial artist for his entire life, and it's really showing through here in these early rounds.
And sometimes you can see the fighter's preparation. Paul Gannon's corner, they're giving him good advice. He's got the bucket and a towel. They look proficient. In Stefano's corner, he's wiping him down with a t-shirt, or it could be underwear. It's not a great sign.
It's not a good look, is it? Wiping you down with underwear. Some of the best have been the scrappy fighters, though. The fighters that come out of nowhere, independent fighters, as we call them. And they just end up throwing down and giving somebody a serious amount of trouble. Paul Gannon got extended there.
Paul
in his
really
double.
wants this takedown.
It looks like he's going to get it here anyway, but he really needs to bring those legs in and try to essentially put yourself in like a deadlift or a clean start position and be able to pull up and really get that in. He's not being the most proficient here with his double, and he doesn't get it in the end. He wasn't bringing his hips in enough to finish that double.
Well, Stefano's from a fighter's gym. Maybe this is his game now. He wants to stuff this takedown, separate, and start throwing some punches. But
yeah, make it happen, Stefano. And he ends up on the ground. The arm wrapped in for that guillotine, but
Stefano did well to get that knee through and recover a little bit of guard, and he's covering it well from those shots. I think he's trying to stuff that arm so he can go for a triangle choke. Oh, and he might just have it here. Oh, but his leg got caught in a butterfly position, which stopped him stepping over into that triangle choke. But really good setup. I would look to see him do that again. You see, he was overwrapped that arm on that side, which is making Paul Gannon's life very difficult, but he's given up on the overwrap. I think he could have used it possibly a little bit more, and he's still trying to push that arm, still trying to set that triangle, but Paul knows his game now. He knows what he's trying to get.
Yeah, we marveled at those power shots of Paul Gannon, even in the grapevine mount position that he was in earlier on. But I think he's slowed down significantly here in the second round, and he's not necessarily looking to pound those shots in like he was in the first. He's looking to pick his shots, possibly advance, and do a little bit of damage. Again, an A-class amateur fight, so there is ground and pound to the head on the ground.
And Paul passed guard really well in the first round, but he seems a little bit more content to sit in the guard in this one. And Stefano's gone to kind of playing an open guard now. I think he's got a butterfly hook, and Paul passed it, and it's exactly what he did in the first round. Stefano went for a butterfly, and Paul stepped over. He's done that twice now in this fight. Let's see if he can improve position and get that mount. Oh, he does it again.
Stefano was not aware of the mounted pass there, and just didn't get it. And again, we've got Paul in those grapevine positions, crushing into the abdomen of Stefano, making it very hard for him to breathe as he looks to walk his knees up to get a high mount and then be able to smash some punches through with the guard of Stefano.
Paul,
Catacoli.
His dad being a martial artist, owning a martial arts gym, he's done martial arts his whole life, and you can see that kind of martial artist temperament. He's not being too excited, he's not trying to finish desperately, he's just kind of picking shots, being logical, being controlled with it, not wasting energy, and winning this fight. Yep. But Stefano could be out here. Oh no.
Sit up position there. Paul really doing some real justice to his pedigree and his martial arts abilities here. Honestly though, I don't want my kids to be martial artists. Dancers, actors, something like that. Protect your faces and your brains. I'm lying. I'd be so disappointed if they didn't fight.
So, I teach martial arts. My kids are 2 and 1, and they already roll a little bit. So my daughter's got a mean ground and pound.
Could you imagine what it would be like if you had to meet them in a match in the future? They'd just tear you apart, barambolas, all day long.
I'm hoping my kids submit me one day. I think that'd be a proud moment, no?
And then I hit her twice. All right, so here we go. We've got, again, different cornering styles here. We've got Paul Gannon style, very calm, cool, collected. They're obviously looking for the finish there. And
Stefano's corner is still rubbing him down with that pair of dirty underwear. They could do with purchasing a towel.
yeah, we don't think about those things sometimes. You just want to fight.
Sometimes you forget.
I like his shorts though. With the countless faces is our man Stefano.
When I corner people, I do always forget a towel, but I stop at Asda and buy one, as opposed to
always
using my underwear.
Yeah, you got to go clubbing after this. Stefano looking to get backed up. We got the body lock here from Paul Gannon. Can he capitalize that? What he's got to do is he's got to bring his hips in and kind of suck that in. That bear hug position that we all remember from the schoolyard is actually not very effective in taking people down against the cage. What he has to do is, loosen his grip a bit and then try to drop it to just below the hips there, and he'll be able to get that double leg takedown. But he's landing a series of really hard knees there to the outside thigh of Stefano, and sucks him in and takes him down again, and looks like he has the immediate pass to the mount.
Once again, Paul is backing mount. He's not even using those grapevines now because he's just controlling the top position. And Stefano is trying to get to his side, trying to recover from the bottom, throwing a few strikes from the bottom, and every time Stefano's got even an inch to escape, then Paul right back to those grapevines and sucks away his hips. But Stefano was using the cage there, bridging off. It's a smart move, but didn't quite work.
I feel like frantic is the best way I can describe Stefano's grappling pedigree right now. He's frantically trying to make something happen, but he just doesn't have the technique necessarily to back it up. Maybe he was looking to keep this fight standing, but you always have to deal with the fact that grappling is going to be incredible. And Paul Gannon looks to posture up there and land a few shots, but he's really just picking them and trying to make... He's really just making a meal out of Stefano, which I think he should be actually trying for the finish. And I haven't seen anything in Paul Gannon right now that signifies that he's looking for a finish. He's happy peppering shots. He's dominating. But right now I want to see a little bit of a sprint to the finish here.
I think his gym is more of a striker's gym, and he's just happy controlling this fight, controlling the position.
For a striker's gym, though, having such really good top control, some good balance here against a strong fighter in Stefano Catacoli, who's trying to bridge him off at every turning point. It's just not happening for Stefano, but Paul has really got to be pleased with his grappling and ground game, his top game.
And still just sticking with those grapevines. I'd like to see Paul, and he's dominating this fight so much. I'd like to see him try and get a nice high mount and maybe go for a submission or really get that ground and pound going. But with these grapevines, he's not going to be able to get anything more than arm punches. And what I mean by that is just the muscles in his arm. Whereas he got a high mount, he can bring his whole body weight down with those strikes. And he's looking for it now. He's getting a little bit high. He's getting a little bit higher. But then every time Stefano goes to escape, he has to swap back to those grapevines.
Yeah. We saw Stefano doing an interesting defense there when Paul was looking for the high mount. He was sitting up and posturing up and trying to stand back up, which has obviously got Paul Gannon thinking. But even there's a little bit of dissatisfaction right now in the crowd because Paul's obviously not looking to finish this fight. But here we go. Last 10 seconds of the fight.
I think Paul's looking for an arm triangle. He is trying to finish this fight. Oh, nice.
And it comes at the very end there. Maybe that's why he was trying to set up the entire time. Just looking for that hand to come across and get that arm triangle.
I think Stefano's towel was a good metaphor for his performance. And it's got to give Lewis Gannon Sr. some good confidence for his fight later on tonight, that his son has put on such a dominant performance.
What an excellent thing, especially to have your dad in there. It's got to give you a little bit of extra influence to want to bang somebody out, right? Chris, you would lose.
I would lose. We've rolled in the gym.
Bad.
Didn't lose, buddy.
Rolled.
I'm a boxer.
I'm a wrestler.
Failed.
Do you know what you do, brother? Brother, when Hulkamania runs wild on you. Do you remember when Rocky fought Hulk Hogan in Rocky 3, brother? Things went really bad for Rocky, bro, because everything just slid down. Anyway, the 23-inch pythons are going to give it up to the announcer in the ring.
3 rounds of action, we go to the judges' scorecards. And we have your winner by unanimous decision from the red corner, Lewis Gannon. And please make some noise for our royal Stefano Catacoli. So, I'm here with you winner, Lewis. Tough fight?
Last 12 years ago, we had something like Kevin on the bottom. It was a class edition submission done. It was through wire. pretty good. I'm happy with that performance. It was hard work, but we had something.
Yeah, it was a good performance, very dominating on top, got the double leg takedown, controlled on top. Was that the game plan going in?
The game plan was to use the strike going in, but I saw some fights earlier where people were getting hit on the spots. So I was like, I'm going to take them. So I watched the fights, I was really good. No striking is taken out.
Yeah, and following you changed the game plan, it worked well for you. So everybody make some noise for your winner, Lewis Gannon.